is enormous, right from economic development to social development, and the thought was how can RCB be a big part of it. When we looked at that, we saw what is the best way to introduce ourselves into this purpose, and the purpose was how do we bring a softer aspect and push that agenda. And that was a thought of.
And I think one of the things you talked about, which I'd like to get into a little bit more deeply, is this fan engagement aspect and the use particularly of technology. I think if you look around, most recently RCB was #1 ranked also on engagement and on social media. What has driven that? What's the thought process, and what can in many ways other sports learn from the experiences and learnings you had at RCB?
I will cite one example. If you look at badminton, there are a lot of badminton academies floating around where the kids play, parents play, and when the kids are playing, parents want to watch them, or grandparents want to watch them, or the friends want to watch them, but they may not be sitting in the same city. Technology can be enabled where it can be what I call live telecast through an app across people, and that is one breakthrough. When more people see it, more people enjoy it, more people appreciate it, they are getting into the category. That is one aspect of it. We need to build at grassroots level from that. So how can we induct people, more and more people, to view the sport at that grassroots level, not at a national level, also at the grassroots. Once you do that and integrate that with a system where you have scores across, again, connect all the badminton academies and have a scores across, and that becomes a league at that level. We need to start thinking in that level, like how American sports thought about at the state level or a university level. We need to start at the grassroots level.
Fantastic. And Smriti, if I may come to you, how much has sport changed from when you took up sport, you played with your brother a little bit in early ages, to a point at which women's sport was perhaps still growing, till being now front and center of sport through the WPL. Walk us a little bit through that journey.
Firstly, I will start with whatever I heard. Rajesh and yourself, I think was something really nice to hear. It's always good to see people investing in sport overall in India. So really positive signs for the country. I think sport, as you said, sports forward nation. I think I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, I think when I started, I think whenever we say that nowadays we sound old, but yeah, when I picked up bat and ball, it was more to just do with my brother playing, and my father also had played. So to see, I wouldn't even talk about women's cricket. I think to just see women's sport evolve. Growing up, I think when I turned 10 and 11, I think the first time we heard of Sania Mirza becoming a icon, and we all knew that, oh wow, there's a girl in sport, and that really inspired us. Then few years down the line, we started hearing about Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu, and it was also encouraging. And for women's cricket, I think in India, I think it's just been a journey from the time we started playing, in terms even for the Indian team, to having stadiums which were mostly empty to now filling out stadiums wherever we play as an Indian team or with RCB. I think it's just a good, brilliant thing to watch. And I think more importantly, as cricketers or as sports people, sometimes people misconceptualize thinking that we want equal stuff, or I just feel that what we definitely want is equal amount of respect. And I just feel in last 5 years, I think women in sport have definitely been in a place where people know, people appreciate us, criticize us, which is great. I think people are caring about women's sport, they are watching it. So I think it's a journey, and I just feel like more and more investments of this sort and right stakeholders taking right decisions for women's cricket and women's sport, it's only going to lead the way forward.
So Smriti, I have a 9-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son.
I think the only thing which definitely works for me is, like, at that age when you start playing, I don't think anyone really thinks that, oh, I want to play this, I want to play for the nation, or I want to get medals. I think you just start for the passion, and I think that's the most important thing. And the only message I would say that which always helps me is try and enjoy each and everything. And sometimes things are not going to work out. Maybe there'll be studies or something or whatever. I don't know what will happen at that age, but if you have passion, I think, and if you enjoy what you're doing, not only what you do on the field, even off the it, I think magic happens. So just stick by it, keep doing it day in day out. I think things work out.
Have fun and stay persistent. Nitish, at what point will you accept that Ungod is the sprint capital of India? What is your North Star goal?
I think once we have boys and girls from India running sub 10 seconds for boys in 100 meters and sub 11 for girls, I think that's when we can truly call it the sprint capital. And that from community-led perspective, right? I mean, it's very easy if you build a center in Bangalore and get the best athletes of India and do it, but will that create value for the community? Maybe not, right? But if you do it there and we achieve it, yeah, it can be the sprint capital of India.
And this is not the first attempt with the community, right? It's the first time you're doing it within the community rather than taking athletes out of the community into new places.
Yes, in the past there have been initiatives where the athletes, children were selected and brought to Bangalore, Delhi, Shimla, but because they've lived so many years in the forest regions, getting adjusted to urban lifestyle, a lot went together and giving a platform to share how sports has a big lever for a social change, right? So at our organization, Bridges of Sports, it's been 8 years now, so we are focusing on how we can identify communities which have inherent skills, and in the Ungod region, which is around 400 kilometers from here, they have an inherent skill for speed. As Rajesh mentioned, there are tribal communities there who have lived in forests for long and been part of actively hunting from last 400 years. So they've developed those skills for speed, and in the last 8 years we have been able to work closely with the community to build this sprint capital. I think there is still a few more years, I think about one more decade probably, where we can really call it the sprint capital, but we are moving in the right direction, and the partnerships now coming together, especially the Made of Gold initiative, it really helps accelerate this process to work closely with community, not just in achieving the results, outcome of performance, but how do we create that social impact where there is a value for developing the high performance communities.
Wonderful, thank you Nitish. And Deepti, if you could tell us a little bit more about corporate India is actually playing a role in sport. What does it tell us? What have the results been so far? And how do you conceive of that partnership?
Thanks Nandan, and congratulations Rajesh, Divya. We've been talking about CSR and corporate India and how has Indian sport really moved and how the needle has changed. I think what's really interesting in the last 3 or even 4 Olympic cycles, you've seen a lot of funding that's come into an individual athlete, and most of the funding comes to 30, 40, 50 athletes, and corporate India has played a big role in that. But what we're now seeing is over there is a lot of funding coming in, but your talent pool, if you're talking about 2036 Olympics, is going to come from academies, communities and the rest of India, not from the 30, 40 athletes we're putting all our money into. So therefore pathways are very critical, and a program like Made of Gold and RCB coming in and looking at communities, I think that is very special, because most of the time corporates also want to look at the top of the pyramid, right, where you get immediate success, somebody who's already been there, done that. I think more of corporate India coming into communities, coming into states, we'll see the funnel growing, because the ladder is broken at multiple places. When you talk about any sport, when you look at badminton or even when you look at cricket, today women's cricket has a beautiful pathway. 5 years back, the girls had to really struggle to make it into the Indian women's cricket team, when David Smith made it. But I think putting in those pathways, putting in the talent, corporate India plays a really big role. And there are incredible projects like Bridges of Sport across the country, different communities. India is so diverse, every 60 kilometers we have different food, different places. There's so much of talent everywhere. So I'm sure we can broad base this, we can see a lot more Indians qualifying, doing better, and at the end of the day, having healthy citizens and good role models for this country. Smriti just spoke about, when she was a young girl, seeing somebody else do it, and I think for us as Indians, we build that capacity to say we can also do it. If they have done it, I can also do it. So I think sport plays such a big role on all these elements of what it is to be an Indian today. I think that's really special.
Wonderful. And Rajesh, if I can just close.
I mean, the cricketing field, and I thought to myself, and I said, the ultimate dream would be just passing by the road and watching two women's team play a gully cricket match. I think that would be my ultimate dream, because we see that so much. I mean, guys play and all of that. Nowadays, you see a lot more women participation in gully cricket as well. We see 2 or 3 girls playing with 10 or 15 boys, but I think the ultimate dream down the line would be just passing by in my car or anywhere, and I'm just watching two women team like playing gully cricket. No professional sport, nothing. They're just enjoying the sport. I think that would be really cool. And as you said, I think the amount of girls or college-going girls or school-going girls have come up to us in the last 2 or 3 years asking for a photo, or genuinely guys used to come a lot more before. In the last 2 years since the WPL has started, it's all turned that a lot of girls and people who I don't see them that they would be following a lot of sport, they come up to all of us and say that we've looked up to you, and for us actually that feels like one of the wins of our life, that we've actually inspired girls to watch sport or play sport. I think that's something, that's 2 ultimate dreams you would want to do.
Wonderful, Smriti. And just to conclude, we talked about what sport can do for India.